what's to come. Are you listening now? Can hear it, I know you do too. Tear your armor down. It's begun. There is danger here now. So clear in the light of the sun. And the rumble is loud. No hiding, no cover can run. Call the battle cry out. Can feel it, I know they do too. Hold the line and stand ground. No match for the strength to be true. Still now, the army bled out loud. Loud drums in your chest as the wall.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Arthur, an Elder Scrolls veteran that is on a mission to showcase some of his original character builds here on YouTube to keep the magic of Skyrim alive until Bethesda finally delivers us the long-awaited Elder Scrolls 6. Continuing with the theme of winter, I am excited to present to you my next character, Frostshade. Frostshade hails from northern forests of Solstheim. He was born as the oldest son into a small hunter family that worshipped and followed the ways of the Allmaker. It was a very humble life to live in tune with nature, and for that reason, since a very young age, Frostshade felt like he was destined for something greater. He didn't hide his desire to get more out of life. Instead, he often told his family about his dreams and plans to leave Solstheim behind one day and to go and seek his fortune. Frostshade's family supported his dreams and told him to follow his heart. But as he got older, he never left. Frostshade knew that he couldn't leave his family, not when winters were hard and food was scarce. He had to carry his role as the eldest son and make sure that there was enough food to keep everyone from going hungry and enough firewood to keep them from freezing. After Frostshade turned 17 years old, he and his younger brother took a longer hunting trip, only to return to an empty home. Brothers were heartbroken. They searched around Solstheim for months, but eventually accepted that their family was gone. With that, the brothers left Solstheim behind. Frostshade finally got to follow his dreams, but as fate would have it, great fortune was not easy to achieve, and the pressure to provide for his younger brother pushed him to the path of crime. He noticed that hunting in the forest, all his childhood had taught him to move silently and unseen. Being a thief was like a second skin for him.
When you walk through the guild, don't be ashamed to hold your head high, because you're the best damn thief in the place.
It was easier to steal wealth from others than to earn it himself. Frostshade never told his younger brother how he earned enough money to cover all their living expenses and to even pay for his education. He worked alone and in secret. As years passed, Frostshade grew more confident. His skills and his jobs kept getting more risky. Life was actually good, until one day a job went wrong. When he picked a lock and entered a house, guards were waiting for him. Townspeople had set him a trap, and he walked straight into it.
You have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. What say you in your defense? So be it.
Frostshade fled running, and so began an epic chase that finally ended when guards caught him at the border. Frostshade was sentenced to the headman's block and placed on a wagon heading to Helgen. This is where your story as the Frostshade begins. While captured, Frostshade understood that no one was coming to save him. After this realization, he didn't want to work alone anymore. He had heard rumors about a small branch of Thieves' Guild hiding down in the tunnels of Ratway beneath Riften. Frostshade decided to go find and join them if the Allmaker was to let him leave Helgen alive. After escaping Helgen, aid Riverwood by informing the Jarl of Whiterun that Riverwood is defenseless. When you visit Dragon's Reach, make sure to buy the spell Muffle from the Court Wizard. After repaying the kindness of Riverwood, you should make your way to Riften soon as possible to join the Thieves' Guild. Frostshade will mostly use different variants of the Thieves' Guild armor until he becomes a Nightingale. To get the Stalrim light armor early, you have to get your smithing skill up to Ebony. I recommend doing this as you return the Thieves' Guild to its former glory by doing tons of extra quests for Delvin and Vex. Use all the money you make from the jobs to level up your smithing skill with trainers. Grinding your smithing skill can be a tedious process, so here are a few tricks to speed up your progress. You have to be at least on level 32 to get the strongest version of the Nightingale hood, boots, and gloves. So I highly recommend doing other quest lines like the Dark Brotherhood and the Companions before completing Trinity Restored and becoming a Nightingale. In the faction arc of your playthrough, Frostshade is mostly motivated by making money. This makes almost every faction fit the character, since to him they are nothing but just different streams of income. Even if money should be your main motivation, you can roleplay some character development when taking revenge on Mercer, or when going on your way to cure Kodlak's soul, even if money isn't involved. Despite taking the first steps within different factions' quest lines, it is only through the main quest and the responsibility of being the Dragonborn that finally allows Frostshade to truly understand that there is more to life than gold and business. Frostshade's choice of weapon is Chillrend. I like to roleplay that the sword was made by his father, who mixed refined malachite with Stalrim, and then took it to be enchanted by the shaman of the Skull village. Sword disappeared when his family did, and for that reason Frostshade was very surprised to find it when breaking into the house of Mercer Frey. Soon as Frostshade saw the sword, he knew that he had to steal it back in honor of his father and the Allmaker. This role-playing aspect also makes the betrayal of Mercer Frey deeper and actually personal for Frostshade, because if he had his family's sword, he surely played a role in its disappearance. In my playthrough, I always carried a bow with me as a reference to his childhood as a hunter. I ended up finding the Nightingale bow to best fit the theme of the Frostshade. Just be careful not to turn your character into a stealth archer, because that is not the purpose of the build. Now into the skills and perks of the Frostshade. When playing on Master difficulty, you should always prioritize health when leveling up. But when playing as the Frostshade, you'll want to get your magicka up quickly, so you can start casting illusion spells like Muffle and Orum's Aquatic Escape as soon as possible. I recommend casting Muffle as often as possible because it's a good way to level up your illusion skill. By the time you reach level 40, you'll want these skills. For smithing, in addition to ebony smithing, you need the arcane blacksmith so you can improve your gear. In sneak, from the left side, you want muffled movement, light foot, and silent roll. From the right, backstab and deadly aim. I only like to place one skill point in stealth, so sneaking remains somewhat realistic and takes some actual skill to do. Also, this way invisibility potions and illusion spells are actually useful. In light armor, you'll want custom fit, unhindered, Windwalker, and eventually all 5 in Agile Defender. For your one-handed skills, you'll want all 5 in Armsman, Fighting Stance, both Savage Strike and Critical Charge, and finally, Paralyzing Strike. To avoid the common fate of Stealth Archer, I didn't place any perks in Archery. Despite this, there are still many ways to make the bow useful, like distracting enemies, setting off traps, or just killing weak foes. In enchanting, I recommend getting the Soul Squeezer to save your soul gems while recharging Chillrend. Also feel free to add your own twists to the character. by enchanting your Stalrim armor how you see fit. With Illusion, you'll need the right side until Quiet Casting. This perk is the key when playing as Frostshade because it makes even your shouts silent. Whirlwind Sprint, Throw Voice, and Ice Form can get you through even the toughest security. And lastly, for Destruction, you should place both perks on Augmented Frost, because this also affects enchantments, making Chillrend much stronger. When playing as the Frostshade, you'll always want to make the first move via sneak attack. On Master difficulty, you rarely one-shot foes, but dealing 6 times the damage with Backstab is a good start. After you have dealt your sneak attack, it's time to fight. In battle, Frostshade relies heavily on the enchantment of the Chillrend, so make sure to always have a few soul gems with you when traveling and exploring. In battle, I use Slow Time, so I can immediately land enough strikes to make sure that Chillrend's enchantment takes effect. Keeping heavy hitting enemies frozen while you kill off the weaker ones, or simply using surroundings to make sure that you aren't overwhelmed, are both essential for survival. Another shout that goes well with the character is Ice Form. I like to roleplay that this shout is just an extension of the powerful enchantment placed on your sword by the most powerful shaman of Skal. With that, we can finally wrap up the build. My goal is to showcase interesting characters that make you want to play Skyrim again. Let me know your thoughts on the character and what kind of builds you'd like to see in the future. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss on any future character builds, since I have many more planned. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.